David Pombo.
Aye.
Alvina Kaiser, here. Jimmy LeGrand.
Affirmative.
Erica Smith Payne.
Absent.
And Corey Strock.
Here.
There we go. All right, so facilities use update, we have the minutes from the last two meetings, the minutes. Last two meetings, any questions about that, any corrections? Nope.
No, I asked them.
Okay, cool. Facilities usage reports, pages 6 to 10 on our report.
We continue to keep them separated by tiers. We started the date as of June 1st. I know you had mentioned there was a facility on here we were seeing before. It was because of the date range before we made the adjustments.
Okay.
So now you will no longer see that extra. Obviously, Tier 2A groups are using the MPR rooms the most. And Tier 2B, also the multi-purpose rooms. And the Tier 3, classrooms.
Yeah, we do get a few classrooms.
Are these available now? I think this is usage, not requested usage, right?
This is past usage.
For summer?
The last 2 months.
From June 1st
The number of topics, right? Okay.
through July 21st.
Okay.
And these are also available as part of the agenda packet online for people to see.
And these are, when it says multipurpose room, it's all multipurpose rooms, right?
Yes.
Yep, okay. So still, I mean, we're still between them all, a significant number of hours of usage even during the summertime, so. Be curious to see how it relates back into, is it possible to do both reports so we can see, like, not necessarily eliminating school site and doing all the tier 2As through, like doing separate and then a total? Because like I can go through this and say, okay, 110 hours plus 40 hours plus 20 hours is so many hours. I'm just curious, because again, it's really just more for informational for the public when we say our facilities get used a lot, to be able to say, no, they really do get used a lot, and here's the total number of hours all of our multipurpose rooms have been used. If it can't, it's not a big deal. I like to kill them with
What is the
data.
request again? If we can combine,
So you've got broken down reports for tier 2A, tier 2B, but can
Right.
you get eliminating the school usage?
well, which would be Tier 1.
Right, so just basically a combined report for 2A all the way through tier 3. All tiers, all those tiers and all the multipurpose rooms. If you
like a
can't,
range.
you can't. Okay,
Right, because it's only the date is a range. It doesn't allow combining these two.
okay.
Tiers.
And if not, if we get it this way, even this, like I say, you can just do some simple math and say
Right.
it was 160 hours in the last 6, 7 weeks that our multipurpose rooms were, so stuff like that.
Okay, we'll
That's
do that.
Any questions? Nope. Okay, we will move on to denied applications. They didn't come, so,
Well, we only had one, and they had.
and when you
quite
ask
a
for
bit of
every
usage.
facility at the high school, the chances are getting every single facility at the high school is not gonna be very common during the school year.
Yeah, they want a gym, stadium, fields, everything.
And as much as I'd love to see something like what that sounds like it would be, you know, in our community, if you're gonna do it during the school year, the chances are you're not getting every single facility at a school site, so I'm sorry that it was denied. Unapproved use notifications, none.
No, but I think we might want to visit the overnight use. I think ultimately that it turned out okay, but there were a lot more people that arrived for that overnight event that the board had previously approved than was anticipated. We didn't have enough coverage like that because we had no idea how many were going to show up for that. So I think that they were even spilling into other areas.
Was that the,
It's like the high school band thing, right?
Yes.
but it wasn't the high school, was it the high school band one, or was it the, comp bands, like the Blue Devils and the Virginia?
I don't know, say drum corps or what?
It is drum
Okay,
bugle
drum
corps,
corps.
yeah. That's,
I thought our high school
that's
had
the
drum
event.
corps.
okay. That is something, every one of those is a national organization, and that is something that we should be following up with those organizations to let them know that while we want to have our facilities open for their use, that, you know, they need to give us a better report of how many people are going to be there, because we needed to anticipate
I think
their
the permit
needs
said it'd be 1,000 and their estimate was closer to 3,000.
better. Holy,
3,000? Wow,
um,
yeah, that's a
So,
little different.
and I was,
it stayed overnight?
That were just there during the day, and I don't know how many people spent the night. They were just people all over the place, and there was some hot plates in the gym
And that's what,
atrium,
and I would absolutely say those are all organizations that can't afford to eliminate sites like this from future use, and I would want to reach out to them.
There
Looked
weren't
in the
any,
first place.
there weren't any problems, but all it take is for, one thing to spill over in the
Absolutely.
weight room or something
Right.
like that. We got lucky that nothing happened.
Yes.
We need to have more custodial coverage, and we need to confine maybe all the cooking to the multi or kitchen area and
Or outside.
and all that, or outside, something like that. It was way more than what I was anticipating,
What
so,
was more than they said?
yeah, so
who
we
booked
didn't
it?
have enough custodial coverage, and
Who booked it in the first place? That told us there was going to be 1,000.
Rexell, is it Troy Rexell that booked it?
yeah, the band
Well,
teacher
they
from
brought
the
it
high
forward
school.
for the
It was
board to
the high
review.
school teacher himself then, right?
Yeah, but
He was around.
I mean, should the discussion be
his
with
information was based
him?
on what the organizations told him. So,
It's still on him. He's the one who booked it.
well, yeah, no, it's. I mean, there's got to be a conversation with everybody to say. I mean,
Triple-
I'm not saying we shouldn't do it again. I guess we'll be better prepared next time when they do come.
and
I
like I
had no
said-
idea. This is,
Alarm calls all
It's,
hours of the night.
it's not really my world. I'm a sports guy. I'm not really the man guy. I don't really know how big these events
It's
are.
gigantic.
So,
It's-
yeah,
they're
well, it sounds like it is.
huge.
Yeah.
They're huge. They've always been huge. So.
We couldn't have done anything if they're telling us it's 1,000 and then we get 3,000.
I mean,
There's-
there's not much we can do
we
about
can't
it,
do anything. They're
but-
tripling a huge number. Like if there was 1,000 and maybe they got 1,500,
Exactly. So
Maybe.
Oh, and then we had some gaps in our custodial coverage. Getting 24-hour coverage for 3-4 days is a lot, especially. So we had some 3-4 hour gaps here and there, which probably didn't help either. So,
yeah, but again, those are and that's something where if we when this comes before either this committee or the full board again, we need to make sure we're reminding them of and that we're. But I would recommend we reach out to Mr. Rexell and have him reach out to the organizations and try to figure out what happened and if there was a better way to estimate what was going to happen or what they think might happen for next time. But this is, remind me so that I put this in my board report when we go to the full board so that I can.
I'm just
and I
pleased
believe
that
that,
we
I
did
believe
not-
I wouldn't want to say no because of it, but
No, I'm not
there's
saying, I'm
gotta
not
be
saying that we
better-
say
better
no. We'll
safeguards.
just be better prepared. I believe there's another competition. I want to say October, end of October.
But is it that one or is it the high school one?
I'm not quite sure. I don't really, like I said, not really my world, but they have the lockdown for band competition pretty much every Saturday at the high school, but there's actually some sort of competition. I want to say it's around the 22nd of October, somewhere around there. So
We might want to find out if it's the same thing, but I don't think it's an overnight thing, which would mean.
I don't think it's
just on
overnight, no, but
I think it may just be an invitational for
okay.
high schools.
other high schools.
That was
to
my
come.
recollection.
But even then, we need to have a
about that.
better handle, have enough people there to make sure the event is handled properly, so.
Well, it sounds like we'll have a better handle on what questions to ask next time at least.
Yeah, this is a new one for me. So,
Was that in
That was it on
unapproved?
that. That was the
Okay.
only thing that I thought should be brought to
Any
you.
changes to tier status notifications?
No changes.
And then civic permit software update, override conflict dates.
Right, there, in your packet, we've included an update that civic permits that says that users can override a conflict check by checking the appropriate box below. So I know there are cases where we will allow multiple events, just like we did at the beginning of the year, so.
But those users are us, right? Not the applicants. So both school site or our facilities group have the power, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry, does it put any sort of priority on there? I mean, I would hate for someone to do an override and just assume they've got it because there's an override, there's an additional check
Certain
involved.
permissions that we can give to users. And so I'll address that as well under the civic permit software comments and review, based on the survey comments.
And no reimbursements,
No reimbursements at this time around.
public comments? Nope. Thank you for sharing. Finance report, staff hours report.
I think we were gonna bring that back in August,
Okay.
but you do see in here, page 11, the finance report that our accounts receivable clerk prepares. We had a carryover of 60,000, and then we've already, since July 1st, have begun collecting additional revenue. We finally have worked out the kinks in the credit card payments. I think there's one entity that needs to re-enter their credit card payment, and so we have been trying to get a hold of them to do that.
Oh my, yeah.
West Coast Soccer.
Oh, well,
And
if
they
you
have
have problems there, text me.
Okay, because they have had problems
Is it-
there. So I don't know if we just have the wrong contact information, because they're not getting any results.
Phones and I sent a couple of emails and
Oh, really? Okay.
So they have another event coming up.
Yeah, I know.
But if they're not paying, then we would have to deny their application.
That will be taken care of immediately following this meeting.
I want to make sure we have the right contact information
Yeah.
as well.
I'll find out what that is too. I think I know who it is, but I'll make sure.
Okay.
And again, they're not getting any favoritism. I just happen to know the manager there and can say, hey, who do we contact and figure out what that is, because
And
I want
maybe-
them to pay their bill.
And maybe they think, well, we used our card, but they'll see per their transaction statements it didn't go through. 'Cause
Right.
the system was in test mode, not in live mode.
Right. We'll get it taken care of. Like I say, I'll at least get someone to get in touch with you guys.
Okay, that'd be perfect,
Because,
because it may just be a misunderstanding.
yeah, it's also ramping up to seasons and stuff, so it's not an excuse, but I'll make sure someone reaches out to you guys. Okay, next on our agenda is information and discussion items. We will talk about security deposits.
Right, it had come up at a previous meeting about being able to roll over their security deposits. Yes, we can do that. We've already made that arrangement with one of our vendors. or one of
Which
our
I think
users.
was what they wanted to do, so
So
we
can
can
do that.
accommodate it and it didn't cause any problems for you, which was our biggest concern, and you said nope, and
It's
if
fine,
the one who does the book says she can work it out, then
saves us all time.
saves us all time. Okay, and then civic permit software,
We sent out a survey. Oh, I'm sorry, Corey, what was that?
Oh, sorry. No, I was just saying WSF did actually do the, I think Vicky actually did the survey, so her answers are fine, I'm sure.
So some of the questions, I'm glad to see that many people would be interested in attending a training session, so we will get something scheduled. We were just trying to decide if during school or after school, maybe after school for the outside organizations, and we might just do some site visits, like when we first talked about the handbook and the changes. That seem to work better, because each site has their own unique situations, or their own unique.
do we have any specific new school site secretaries? I don't,
do.
so,
Well, Wicklands is pretty new,
Wickland's, Wickland's is new.
it's pretty new.
but did she, has she gone through the training for the software yet? So we definitely want to make sure we're hitting
Yes.
anyone who's not gone through the training before and going through.
She's been using it, but we also noticed some features too I wanted to point out. I know with the school sites, they usually hit new permit and they've got to answer these questions. Well, we've discovered, depending on their access, we could give them a permit user processing access where they can actually enter their new event directly on the calendar without having to answer those questions. So
is
that
it-
was specifically be for those school office staff, so they're not having to go through that, all those check boxes. So we'll make sure that they're all
Speed
the
up
same.
time. So that we
Yes.
can, what was the comment? So we can focus
Separate
on,
process for schools, application process is too detailed for school sites, which I understand. They don't need to answer, yes, this is a meeting, yes.
well, and
this-
we can return time spent on improving instruction and learning.
Yes, yes, we can. But overall, I thought the comments were very positive.
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, when it says, do you find the communication from civic permits to be effective? Only two say no, that I saw, maybe three, no, there's
It's
three.
4, I think, altogether.
Okay, so
But we
I
have
mean-
quite a bit of responses on this page.
And most of the scores seem to be in the 3 and 4 range, which is about what you want to get in a survey like this. I mean, we could always lie and say, oh, if we don't get 5s, we all get fired, but we don't work it safely, so.
Well, and I think this is gonna be helpful for civic permits as well. I think I'd like to share this
Yeah.
with them too.
Absolutely.
And if, I
They
guess
should
we wanna
want
send
this.
out a future one later, if you can think of any additional questions that might be helpful to provide on here.
Okay. Any questions on the software? No. Okay, so then we've got one more discussion item, Mr. Pombo, if you would like to address that.
I believe that most of the committee is aware, but Lillian Muella, who was excuse me, a 40-year Lammertsville school employee prior to her retirement, passed away Saturday, July 23rd, and her family, among other things, is requesting to use the multipurpose room at Lammertsville School for a reception. And I'm not sure where this is in the process, but I'm guessing that since it's so close, it would have to be a special request as far as waiving the 30-day requirement and
Yes.
so on and so forth. So I'd say someone who worked for the district for 40 years should get whatever they're asking for within reason. And
When I see it, I could move it through right away. I haven't seen it. Have you seen it?
I don't think
they
they know how to
wanted make
use
sure
civic
that it was
permits or anything
okay
like that.
to-
Oh, okay,
and-
okay.
And that's what
'Cause
they're
it's,
coming
it's
for.
way less than 30 days. I mean, basically, it's
Facilities
2
are
weeks.
I could, not a problem.
And
They probably don't have accounts anyway, I would imagine, so someone would have to
it'd
put
be
it
a
in
whole
manually.
brand new setup for something like this. And this is one of those things where it's like, this process is intended to cover the majority of issues. This is a one-off, and I'm gonna agree with Mr. Pombo at least. I remember Lillian very well. She was one of the first people I met who worked in the district, and she was the first face you saw every single morning when you walked into Lambertville at the elementary school there, so.
Well, she was truly the heart and soul of Lambertville School for, for 40 years and continued on in a volunteer position for many years after her retirement.
I mean, the only real question is, realistically, does someone else have the space booked?
No, they do
and
not, I checked.
It's available.
And yeah,
so-
for sure, then.
We,
If
that's
someone
on
did, I
Saturday,
suppose we'd
no.
have a discussion, but I would think that whatever.
Yeah,
Nothing on Saturday.
but we checked, nothing on this, nothing on Saturday, so go ahead, and I
Great.
would just coordinate with,
Yeah.
we'll have to coordinate with someone at the district office, Jimmy, if you can take care of handling that, because they don't have a school site leader yet, so.
I mean, I don't know if we're allowed
sure.
to do this, but it's not a tier 1, right? So wouldn't there theoretically be a fee? But we could waive the fee probably too.
And that would be my request, is that the committee vote to waive the fees.
Okay, sure. Yep,
Does anyone have a problem with that?
not at all.
Not at all.
All right, so we'll let them know that that's the case. I mean, they'll still have to do some insurance or something, I'm sure, but that's like,
With them.
Yeah.
And I think that's why, the suggestion was maybe to work through LSF.
Seth, right,
Because she
to
was so
help work that out.
closely with that
oh,
entity.
again, yes, so,
And everyone else is willing to donate any time that's necessary to
right.
cover the event.
I don't think you'll have problems with any of that stuff.
If there's any issue as far as insurance or anything, let me know, and I will either work with LSF to get the insurance done, or I can work with my own insurance agent and get something set up.
Yeah, I imagine
looking-
LSF will handle it. and they should already have insurance.
And we have no action items.
No action items.
So future agenda topics and meeting dates. It's my suggestion that we not hold a meeting in August unless our facilities team feels there's a reason. I mean, with school opening on the 11th, to have a meeting in the first couple weeks, I don't really know that it would benefit us all that much. And I think if we have one in September, getting ready for the November application process might make a little more sense. Unless anyone has strong objections and really wants to get together again in August.
I'm fine with
Let's-
your suggestion.
So we're looking at what, September?
Yes.
Is that the month after August? It's very confusing.
Yes, life starts to get very confusing starting in September.
September. We do Tuesdays, right? Mm-hmm. What the heck?
Well, I don't want to do the 6th.
Oh, I'm available on all of them. I'm not very popular on Tuesdays, it would appear.
The 13th looks,
Okay, that
Fine,
works
or-
for me because unannounced actuals will be done by then
Oh,
too.
plus we moved WFF meetings to Mondays.
That does help a little. Okay, so 13th of September will be our next meeting at 6:30 PM as usual.
Okay.
Anyone have any issues?
So, whenever you're done, I have something to ask.
Go.
Okay. So just as a point of clarification for myself, I had a little issue with not an issue, but an email exchange with the high school principal. There was I think it's a Boy Scouts or Cub Scouts that asked to use the multi. The multi was available on the dates. I went ahead and pushed it through. Now the sites are back. They're going to be the ones that
We changed the
Approve,
process.
right.
to
approve, and then it'll be pushed to pending district review, and then I'll
Yes.
push it forward from there.
Right.
I like that.
Is that?
Yes.
That's the way we want it. We want
Okay, I
districts.
just want to make sure, because I don't want to
That's how
step on
we
anybody's
discovered
toes.
Still not switched, and we're, we gotta
Because over the
switch
summer, no one was here, so I was
Right, we
pushing all
have
these
to- we
through.
don't-
And now
that's
that
the way we wanna do it
now
for
that
the
they're starting to
summertime.
come back, so I don't want
Basically I would say we maybe don't want to switch it back like the day they get back, but within a week of getting back, it is got to be part of what the school site should be doing.
to step on anybody's toes and make anybody upset, so I will hold off, and when it gets to that point, I'll push it forward from
I
there.
think we just adjusted it. Rita went in there yesterday, and started adjusting those few that came through before we swapped it.
Okay,
So
So they're gonna go back to the sites?
we're gonna go back to the sites.
Well, that's what we want.
okay. I just want to make sure I'm doing the right thing, so.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, I don't see a problem with a little bit of overlap and oversight, you know, for a few weeks to allow the administration.
Yeah, I mean, I told them, I checked the calendar, there were no other events, otherwise I wouldn't have
Right.
moved it forward, so, but
Because even,
It
well,
seemed a little irk
but
to
even
me,
if, even
so-
if, even if the site denied it, they could still come before us and get it granted.
I was
and
just
then
on a
another
roll,
person.
moving permits forward, and I saw it, and I just bam, 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 done, and it was, you know, so,
So many that are coming.
Yeah, no, and if this is the time of year, they're gonna start coming like crazy,
yeah,
so.
so,
But by the same token, as much as I want to give the administrators some coverage when they get back and a little bit of overlap, the work doesn't stop at the district office either, so, you know, we need to get that back on the site administrators as soon as we
I
can.
may
so.
have got a little rambunctious and just started approving everything, but, you know,
The site was available.
yeah,
There
so.
you go. I don't
So
know.
moving forward, we'll go from there.
Okay. All right.
So when they're submitted, I'll change it to pending site review, and then once it gets
Should now
back to
go
me.
to the site first. Now.
Okay.
We just changed.
She just switched it over yesterday.
So when it gets district review, then I'll take it from there. Okay.
Yep, that works for me.
Yep, that's fine.
Work for you guys?
Sounds reasonable.
Does it work for you, Callie?
She's
Where is
back on
she?
YouTube.
Napping.
She's on YouTube.
Sorry, I have one question. We got this calendar from Rita right before the meeting. What's it for?
Oh, those are the colored date.
So you can
Those are
see the color coding.
We're still trying to work on a legend though for that. But the site,
There's-
some of the
there's color
sites
coding
have
on this?
commented they like that they can see it at
This one
a
you're looking at?
glance.
Yeah.
This one, it appears
That's
just
right.
to be
Oh, yeah,
a blank sheet.
No, she was just showing the new event button. That
Oh,
was the one that
okay.
she walked through the civic.
Okay, got it.
That we can do the new event
Why
button.
is this here? I don't get it.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I thought you meant the calendars in here.
Okay. No, I saw the color thing. The color thing's good.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. I saw one that was
Part of
color
that.
coded.
Okay.
Looks very pretty.
And I thought I saw
There somewhere.
There's a legend right after that.
Yeah.
But it's just, that's
Following
ours.
page.
She's asking if they can add
put
it
it on
so
the
they
website.
can see it.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
So September 13th, 6:30 PM. Anyone else have anything else? We're done. I call this meeting adjourned.